You have 30 seconds and your time starts now. Everything had color in her thought. The months of the year ran through all the tints of the spectrum. The days of the week were arrayed as spring in its glory. Morning was golden, noon orange, evening crystal blue, and night violet. Every idea came to her mind, robed in its own special hue. Perhaps that was why her voice and her words had such a charm, conveying to the listener's perception such fine shadings of meaning and tint and music. To experience the richness of a musically colorful world, we dive in a day of a synesthete's life.
Life of a synesthete is very unique. All our senses are jumbled up. Seeing a group of people elicit many of my senses. You all must be wondering, what is synesthesia? Let me get down to the fundamentals. Synesthesia is a neurological condition in which two senses are perceived simultaneously. The most common form of synesthesia is called colored sequence synesthesia. This happens when people perceive letters or numbers or words or days of the weeks, etc., as being inherently colored. Like the letter A is red and the number 4 is brown, or for example, I see hues of pink when I hear birds chirp. You might be thinking that this person probably just had a red magnet on their refrigerator when they were a little kid, so they think of it as being red. But more studies suggest that there's something going on with the synesthete's brain. Although there's no established way to diagnose synesthesia, mixed perception of senses is involuntary and it happens without them thinking about it. Say, hearing the sound of a loved one elicits a bluish hue in my visual perception.
See, you saw him seeing blue when I called his name. So their condition is naturally raised rather than imagined. For instance, if asked what color is a triangle, a synesthete would see a color, say yellow, immediately, and they wouldn't have to think about it before their brain made the association. The sensory mix up is long lasting, meaning that the associations are always the same. The secondary perception of the thing will be more memorable than the primary ones. A connection of a sound and a color, often referred to as chromesthesia. Color causes people with chromesthesia to hear sound, and sound causes to see color. For example, a person with chromesthesia talking to someone can see a cloud of purple right about in the field of their vision because their voice is associated with the color purple. Every voice has unique color. Another interesting example is the sound created by any automobile, it elicits the color combination of black and white. This is subjective. The question is, what are these people's brain up to? One idea is that it might be a deficit in the natural structure. One theory suggests that all infants have numerous connections within their brain region. As they develop, normal babies prune these connections as their brain region assumes specialized roles. However, synesthetes are thought to skip this part of development.
Scientists theorize that synesthetes were born with the senses sort of all tangled up, and then over time, the brains shut down. Then the new bridges between our senses are formed, so we experience them separately. But synesthetes might not be properly shutting down those bridges, making their life a little bit trippier than everybody else. Another theory suggests that synesthesia is caused by imbalance in our brain's neurochemistry. Our neurons communicate with each other through chemicals called neurotransmitters. So it could be that synesthetes have neurotransmitters meant for one part of the brain way over in a different part, or they could lack chemicals called inhibitors that help keep neurotransmitters in check. This would explain why a lot of synesthetes have different sensory experiences. However, synesthesia is yet another thing that we don't completely understand about.
Number 4 in yellow, chord D major in blue, people in colors and sounds and shape. All that said and done, neurologically, there definitely is more to be discovered about this beautiful rainbow of sensation called synesthesia. Hope you all enjoyed our presentation. Thank you. By the way, this is Ashla, Mrinal, and Shivam.